Okay. First person, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Tonight should be a good one. Oh, how you doing? How you doing, Viking? You know, just so you know it, from the time you type something and hit enter, it takes about 30 some seconds, okay? Just so you know, it's slow. Viking, you are going to enjoy this one, buddy. This one here is for you, okay? And I'm going to keep asking throughout as I go along tonight if you understand it, okay? And if you don't, you tell me. Just type it in there, okay? Because this is what I'm going to teach you tonight. You have to understand. There's no getting around it. If you do not understand what I'm teaching tonight, then you'll miss the whole boat, okay? But I'll give it to you. I'll feed it to you with a teaspoon, okay? But we'll get her done. You will understand it. We got to give people time to get all logged in. And did you learn much last night about your 3018? Oh, we got 4 people on here now. That's really, really good. I got my machine fixed today. And what it was it was a bad stepper motor that I put on my machine. It was brand new, but obviously it was bad, and it fried my main board. So luckily I had another board laying around to put on it. So I've been carving today just to try it all out. Oh, it's bad to the bone. It's bad to the bone. Okay, 6 o'clock. Now let's just give people time to get all logged in. Hey, Dan. Glad you could make it, buddy. You're going to enjoy this one. You are going to enjoy this one. I'll guarantee you. And then what I was thinking, and I'll repeat it later on when everybody else gets in here, but what I was thinking after this session is finished tonight, I'm going to go in the group and I'm just going to make a post, and I'm going to say, what do you think, or what have the other people missed out on tonight by not watching it? And then you guys can put all your comments in that post, okay? And you can tell all these new people that don't seem to want to follow. We have 925 members now. And I do this here, and guess what? Yet last night I reached my max ever. Usually there's like 10 people. Last night there were 20 people. And right as of now, we're 12. Hi, Nigel. How you doing, man? How's it up in New York City? Pete, glad you could make it, buddy. We're just sitting here chewing the fat and letting everybody get all signed in before I start up. So I hope you guys are enjoying your Christmas vacations, or at least time off with the family. And that's really why I did this marathon thing. I figured a lot of people are home, cooped up, quarantined or whatever. So I figured, well, at least we might as well take advantage of it and do some videos. And just so you people know it, I've already explained it to Viking that whenever you people put comments in here, it takes about 30 seconds before I see them. Okay, it's really, really, really slow for some reason. How you doing, Colin? Glad you can make it, buddy. You're gonna enjoy this one. Yeah, this one here, boy, tonight I am going to tear Easel apart for you. But the first thing that I am going to do tonight, and that is, when I start on Easel, the first thing I am going to do is I am going to explain 0 point. 0 point is one of the, if you don't understand 0 point, you might as well hang it up. You've done missed the boat, okay? 0 point, you have to have that into your head and understand it 150%, okay? Really, because that understanding your 0 point is either going to make your project or break it, okay? This is no joke. 0 point, you have to understand it. Just a couple more minutes. We'll let everybody get signed in here. Like I said, 925 members now. And I got 12 people. I mean, I really, I'm thankful for you guys coming on here. But I think that there's so many people in the group that would have definitely, some people definitely would have, it would have been a big advantage for them to watch this one. A lot of times with these sessions, what I do is, after reading all the posts throughout the whole week, when I do only the Monday night sessions, I'll read the post all through the week, and then I'll kind of get an idea where the shoe hurts most, and that's what I try to cover. But okay, let's get started. Before I really start, I want to show you something, and I mentioned it earlier, but some of you guys weren't on here. But I got my machine fixed yesterday. I got my machine fixed yesterday. I mean today. It was a brand new NEMA 17 stepper motor on the Z-axis, and guess what? It was bad. And it fried my board. But now it is okay. And I did a little carving, and I left the chips on it. I mean, usually I vacuum them off. But you see these chips? These are little tiny chips. This is not dust, okay? So you want, chips like this, not dust. If you have, now, I'm going to show you something here. This star I carved out. Now, I'm going to try to give you different angles of it, okay? This star, remember I told you how most people knew how beginners, remember how I told you how beginners tend to carve too deeply? I'm just going to sand that fuzz off because I want to get a exact measurement here. Now I carved this at 2 millimeters And I'm putting my calipers down just like this. I'm resting the edges right on the outside, and there I touched it off. And you can see there, that was supposed to be 2 millimeters. Let me measure again and make sure. Okay, I'm 4/100ths of a millimeter off. Okay, so I could have been 4/100ths of a millimeter too high when I set my 0 point. But remember I told you how people tend to carve too deep? And remember I told you how you should really never carve deeper than 2 millimeters? This is 2 millimeters. And let me take it off of here so I can show you a little bit in the light. Now, if that isn't deep enough, that is almost too deep. Because if you're going to do anything with it, I mean, you have this big edge on here, you know? 2 millimeters. That's 2 millimeters. You never need to go deeper. I mean, really, I could have done this at 1 millimeter and it would have looked nice. Half the depth, okay? So I just thought I would mention that. And I wanted you people to see what I talked about not creating dust. If you're creating dust, fine dust, then your feed rate is too low. Okay, all right. Okay. Now this area is what we are going to concentrate on today. Okay? Now, here we go. Okay, I'm just going to put this right here. Okay? Now, what I'm going to talk about today is, first of all, setting up your Easel window. You want it as big as possible. Okay? And the dotted line, this actually is supposed to show basically the bed of your machine, which is actually only this high right here. It's not 200, but it's 180. Remember, 30, this is 300 millimeters, so that is 30 centimeters, 30, 18. Okay, that's your size of your machine. All right, now, whenever you're going to do a drawing and that, what you want to do is you want to adjust your drawing area so that you can always see all of these numbers right here and these numbers right here. Okay, because those are the numbers you're going to be using. All right, here is your inch and millimeter switch. Now I'm going to show you a little something real quick, because when I talk about millimeters being more accurate, okay, just for the heck of it, if I follow this handle, by the way, these little squares are called handles, okay, these handles are how you manipulate your object. If I grab a handle, this handle here, this corner, I'm going to be resizing it proportionally. It will look exactly the same, but it'll just get bigger. And if I grab this handle, it will move everything towards the left. And now watch. You see? The right side right here, it stays in the same place, basically. But the left side is what's getting bigger. Now, if I grab the right side, you see how the left side stays exactly in the same position all the time as far as movement that way. Okay? So this is how you make things bigger or smaller. And then once you make them bigger and smaller, you can copy them and copy them and copy them and manipulate them however you want. Those are the corner ones. Now, if I pull this one, I stretch it all out of whack. Okay? Now, if I want to go back, I would never be able to find the exact place to where it was. So I'll just go up here to edit, and I say undo move. I'm just going to talk about this for a couple seconds. From the time you start Easel, every mouse click you do gets registered. And it's like putting pearls on a string. Okay, you click your mouse one time, you are putting a pearl on that string, and that pearl contains a command. Okay? All of those commands, you can undo them and undo them and undo. You can go all the way back to the beginning of your drawing by undoing everything you have done. But the cool part is you can redo it too. Okay, like right now I'm going to do undo resize. Boom, I'm back to my original. But then I found out, oh crap, I really did want that. Okay? I really did want that. So I hit redo. Oh no, I really didn't want it. See, that's my head. I can never find out what I want. All right. So that was a little bit about handles. The corner handles will scale everything. These handles here, your horizontal and your vertical, they will distort it in other different ways. Okay, I'm going to undo that so I have my original. All right, the top handle. The top handle is for rotating. Okay, undo rotate. All right, now I am going to get into the most important thing in Easel. But before I do that, I'm going to show you one little thing. Look at this. Here I have 0 point right here, okay? Now I can read these lines. This is 50 millimeters. So these are 10 millimeters each, or 1 centimeter. These are 10 millimeters, 20, 30, 40, and 50. If I look at this corner right here, and I look straight down, I can say that that is basically 50, 60, 65 millimeters. Okay? I'll say that's 65 millimeters to the right of my 0 point. Okay? And I can also see that here, 10, 20, there's 50, 60, 70, 80. I would say that's about 84 millimeters. So it's 65 to the right of the 0 point, and 84, I think it is, or 83, one of those. Okay, now, watch what I'm going to do now. Remember, I keep saying inches and CNC do not play well together, and that they are much, much more inaccurate. Okay? There. I switched over to inches. Look at this. 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches. That is about as useless as tits on a bull. It does not help anything. That's why I say use millimeters. Now, talking about your 0 point. This 0 point right here, 0, 0, that bottom corner, will always, and I repeat, will always be your 0 point, no matter what. No matter what. This is the only place in Easel where the 0 point is generated. In relationship, this relationship right here. This relationship. How many millimeters to the right, okay? And how many millimeters up from 0 point? Your Y. X and Y, okay? Now, why do I talk about this bottom left-hand corner here so much? Because this is your default. Your object will always be referred to your 0 point from this bottom left-hand corner up until now. Because watch what I do. I go right up here and I click on shape. Okay? Oh, by the way, you wanted to see here my star? It was cut out at 2 millimeters. So I am 6/100ths of a millimeter off on it. All right. When I click on shape, I get a drawing of a dice, a number 5, dice with five dots. Now guess what? Remember I told you right here that this bottom corner is the default? Okay? Guess why? Because here is your bottom corner is lit up. This box, that's all this box does, is you are going to use this box to tell yourself where you want to reference your 0 point from. This comes in really, really handy when you are doing tiled, which means you have a board bigger than your machine, okay? Let's say your machine can take this much and you have a board that's that big and you carve part of it and then you move the board and you carve the rest. This here will help you out because right now, the bottom left-hand corner, which is default, every time you go and start a new project and you open this up, it will be at the bottom left-hand corner, meaning that you are referencing this bottom corner right here to your 0 point. Now, remember I said this was 55 or 65 millimeters, okay? Look up here. Look up here. X. It says, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. There. That's a little bit better. Okay? Let me see if I can get you. No, it doesn't. Let me see if I can just zoom in just a little bit. Because I want to try to get. No, it won't do it. Because I want to get everything in the window. Okay? Okay, I'm going to highlight my star again. Now, so, right now I'm saying I'm using my bottom left-hand corner, this corner here, as my reference to my 0 point. And referencing from that bottom left-hand corner, these are the numbers I got. 65.6 millimeters and 84. Remember I said it was 84 point something? It's 84.8 millimeters from 0. 84.8 here, and you go across, boom, right to that corner. For example, now I'm just going to change. Now, I got a question for you. If I reference up to the top here, what is going to happen now? what numbers changed. Now I am referencing from here to my 0 point. So, in other words, I have not moved left or right. I'm still measuring on the same line here, right straight down. So my number down here is exactly the same as X 65.6. I have not referenced from any further left or right. I'm referring to the same line, but up here now. But now my Y should be 150, 140, 138 or 139. All right, right here, I see it. 137.4. Because now I am referencing from here. Now, I can, if I go over and I do this top right corner, now I am referencing from up here, which is the same. Y does not change because I'm on the same line. So Y is still 137.4. But my X now, I'm referencing from here. And if I go right straight down, I can see, I can see that it's 100, 110, 118, somewhere around 118 right there. Okay? And I look up here, 118.2. Okay, so that's all I am doing is telling it which point I want to reference from. If I go down here, if I want to reference that point, I click here. Boom. Now, these numbers, X has not changed because we're staying in that same line, okay? But Y has changed. We have moved from here down to here, to this corner. So now, we're referencing from this corner. Now, here is where it gets really cool, okay? Let's say that you want, now, whatever you draw as your project, okay, I'm just going to show you just as an example. I'm going to pull this up. Let's say that, all of that right there is your project. And when you go to edit and you say select all, this box is still, even though it is not square, it still is important here. If I have this bottom corner lit up, I am referencing from this corner to my 0 point in X and Y, okay? If I click over to here, I am referencing now from this point in, okay, then I'm referencing from this point down to here. And that is 176.7 from right here, go down, that is 176.7 millimeters from my 0 point. Now, if I click on here, I'm referencing from this bottom right, left-hand corner again, okay? Now, I am 65.6 millimeters to the right of my 0 point, and I am 84.8 millimeters above my 0 point. In other words, on the 3018, wherever you put your tool down, you are saying, this is my 0 point. Wherever you put your tool down, let's just say right here, if I put my tool down, right, let's say this is my machine. Don't think of this as a preview. Just think of this as my machine right now. And if this was the wood on my machine, and I put my 0 point right down here in the bottom left-hand corner. Okay? And I went through the whole shebang, carve, boom, 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 boom. And I go through all these steps, which I'm going to show you later on. Okay? Guess what? My carving will be right here. It will be 65 millimeters, 65.6 millimeters to the right, which is 65.6 millimeters to the right. And I go right up here, and I would hit the corner of that box right here. Okay? And I look at here in Y, I'm 84.8 millimeters, and I go up here to 84.8 millimeters, and I go right across, and boom, I would hit that corner box there. So no matter what, now if I was to put my 0 point here, this whole thing would move that much. This relationship here, this relationship that you set up in that drawing right there, that relationship is what you are going to get from the place you place your tool on your piece of wood. That carving is going to be that far away from your 0 point. Okay, so now there's different ways to do it. How do I get my 0 point exactly right in the corner so that wherever I put my tool down on my piece of wood, this is going to be carved out exactly to the right and exactly above my 0 point. Real simple. This is so simple. It's just that you have to understand it. Now, let Easel work for you. I can grab all of this. Now watch. I can grab all this. And I can use these handles as guides, okay? In other words, if I want to nestle this down into the corner, I want this handle right here to be exactly in the middle of this line here. And I want this handle here, these handles here, to be exactly in the center of this line here. Now watch. When I move this down, okay, I mean, it looks like it's pretty darn good, okay? It looks like it's pretty lined up. That box is dead in the middle, and that box there is in the middle of that line. But look up here. I'm referencing from that corner from the bottom left-hand corner of my drawing to my 0 point, and I was off by 0.6 of a millimeter in X and 0.7 of a millimeter in Y. Now I'm going to show you something. That's where I try to do it manually. But let Easel work for you. In other words, if you want to nestle your whole project down to the 0 point here, you have your bottom left corner lit up. Guess what? Right in here. Watch this. This is the coolest thing you have to learn. Watch what happens now when I put 0 in there. In other words, I want that corner to be at my 0 line, okay? In X. But I keep touching my screen and blowing the whole thing. So I got to start over here, and now watch. I'm going to put in 0. What do you think's going to happen when I hit enter? Watch. Boom. 100% on 0. That was X. Now, watch what happens. What do you think's going to happen when I do Y? Watch this. 0. Okay? And you always have to hit enter. There. Now my 0 point is dead on in that bottom left-hand corner. So on my machine, wherever I put my tool down, if I put my tool down right here, it's going to carve it exactly exactly right there. It'll carve it to the above it and to the right of it. Exactly like you see right here. Okay? In other words, you can just think of it now. Wherever I put my tool down on my machine, it is exactly like putting my tool down right here. Everything will be carved above and to the right of my tool. Okay? So, let's say, I'm going to move this out again, and I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to take it away. Now, let's just say that you want to carve this on a round piece of wood, and you want to get it dead center. Okay, there is a tool. I don't know if you people know what it is. Okay, there is a tool called a center finder for circles, for a circle or an object. And what it is a square, just like my hand, a square. And coming out from the corner, it has a ruler at a 45-degree angle. So what you do is you put your piece of wood in there, okay? And then the ruler that comes off at a 45-degree angle, that's all you do is when this is in the corner like that, you just make a pencil mark, and then you turn this 90 degrees, you put it back in, and you put another pencil mark. Guess what? Where those two marks cross, that is your dead center of your material. Okay, so now we want a star, dead center in this area. Okay, so first thing I do, I want that star to be exactly the same width as that ring, okay? And that is 67.2 millimeters. 67.2 now. Okay. All right. First of all, we talked about up here, our 0 points. We're going to go back to it, but I want to go down here to the next one. This one here. Very important when you want to make exact things, exact sizes. And remember, CNC, it's all about being 100% exact. Now, we said, what did we say, 67.2. Let me find my pencil here and just write that up so I don't forget it. 67.2. Okay. So, first of all, it's a star, which is a square as a total. I mean, Easel will always look at it as a whole, the whole thing as a square or a rectangle, like when we had the circle. But these are our reference points, okay? Now, here, this window here, size. Since it is a square, perfect square, guess what? The width and the height are going to be exactly the same. Right now, it is 52.6 millimeters. Okay? Now, if I was to put in, I could go ahead and I can write in 67.2. But before I do that, I'm going to show you a little trick. You see this lock here? This means lock the proportions between width and height. In other words, when you click on that lock, you want to keep this relationship square, 100% square. So now, Now, when I go up here and I just change this number to 67.2, watch what happens to that next number. It changed to 67.2. So just by clicking on that lock, I didn't have to write the same thing twice. Okay? So now this star will be exactly from this side here to this side here, 67.2 millimeters wide and 67.2 millimeters high. Okay? And I have, you see here, I have a black dot right in the center of my 0 point. But my 0 point's down here. It's down here. Okay? It's right here. So if I put my tool down on the middle of my piece of wood and I hit carve, my machine's going to go way the heck off. It's going to go up to 88.8 millimeters to the right. And it's going to 77.5 millimeters above my 0 point. The tool is going to go all the way off of that piece of wood, and it's going to start carving in the air. Okay? We want our 0 point dead center here. Dead center. This is easy as pie. Because I will say right now, I want to reference my 0 point to the center of my object, my star. Now, if I look at these numbers, 100x, 122.4, if I go from the dead center here and I go right down, guess what number you'll see right here? 122.4. And the same as with y, if I go right straight across, it will be 111.1. Okay? Again, let Easel work for you. And here we put 0. And you have to have you see here, you got a red line underneath this because I don't have a space. You have to have a space in there. Now watch what happens. Boom. You see what happened there? Now what do you think is going to happen when I put Y0? Wherever, now I put this and I put 0 and I have to put a space. Watch this. Kaboom. Now, wherever you place your tool, write down, wherever you place your tool, that star is going to be carved exactly. That is going to be the dead center of your star. How much easier can that get? Wherever you put that tool down on your machine, that is where that star is going to, the center of your star is going to be. You have now placed your 0 point dead center in the middle of your piece. Okay. Now I'm going to ask everybody, do you understand this 100%? And be honest with me. Tell me yes or no right now. Because I want everybody to understand this 100% with a 0 point. Okay? And it takes 30 seconds for your answers to come up. So I am going to take a drink of my Coca-Cola. And I am going to wait. Hey, Adam, glad to see you can make it, man. And Robert. Okay, Viking, you really, really got this? Damn, was I that good? Everyone's saying yes? Come on. Now I have covered positioning now. How to position your 0 point. Now you see here? Now look at this. If I reference from my bottom left-hand corner, which I can move this so you can see it more better. Okay? Now, guess what? You see all these numbers here? These are positive numbers because they're going in the positive direction from 0. Same as your X. They are positive numbers. But in CNC world, guess what? This line keeps going right down, and once it passes 0, it goes into negative numbers. And just as when you go to the left of the 0, you are going to go into negative numbers. So right now, look at this. I have referenced now this bottom left-hand corner. So I am referencing this corner right now to my 0 point. And it is telling me I am minus 33.6 millimeters to the left. So I am, from my 0 point, I am 33.6 millimeters to the left, and that's where I am, right here. That's this line right here. Okay? Now, in Y, I am minus 33.6 down to here. This here is 33.6 below your 0 point. That's why it's minus numbers up here. Because these are all positive. From 0 up, it's positive. From 0 to the right, it's positive. From 0 down, it's negative in Y. And from 0 to the left is negative in X. Okay? So, one thing you have to realize. On your preview will only, now I repeat that, okay, we got a question here. Adam says, what is the advantage of changing the edit points? Adam, you have to be specific. What do you mean by edit points? Or do you mean up here on the dice? Because I think you came in a little bit late, buddy. And this is something I talked about, that if this is what you're talking about, this reference, that's all it is a reference. This right here, you are telling what you want. What you're doing is, by changing your reference points here, you are just referencing from different points on your. If I hit this one, that means I am referencing now from here to my 0 point in X and Y. Okay? If I go up to here, I am now referencing from this corner to my 0 point in X and Y. And here's the numbers. Okay, let me see. Down. Edit points from square to circle. I'm not quite with you, Adam. That's all these dots here. Whichever one I select, I'm just saying. Right now, I have selected the bottom left-hand corner of my dice. In other words, my square, or I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to just show you something else. That since you came in late, I'm going to do this really quick, and I'm going to show you. Let's say I got that there. This is going to be my entire project. I want to cut all this out at once. So, okay, there's 3 ways to highlight everything. One is select all. Go to edit, select all. Boom. And you are still this square that is now encapsulating everything. This square here is still relevant to this dice. Right now, I am referencing from this corner right here, this corner, to my 0 point in X and in Y, okay? To that corner. These numbers here are telling me exactly how far in X I am over to the right, and in Y, how much further above my 0 point I am. In other words, wherever you put your tool down, that relationship's going to be there. But if you're doing tiling and you want to know the exact height, then you can reference from up here. And it'll give you the numbers if you're looking for a specific number. Let's say if you wanted this point here to be exactly 170 millimeters above your 0 point. Okay? Then right here in Y, you put in 170. Watch. 170 millimeters in space. Okay? And I hit enter. You see it moved. Now, this upper left-hand corner right here is exactly 170 millimeters above my 0 point. And it is 48.3. If you go right straight down here, and I look here, it's 48.3. Because I'm referencing from this corner here. If I go over to the right, to this upper right-hand corner, I am now just referencing this corner here. Go straight down, which will be 150, 60, 70, 77. Okay, 176.2. And my Y is still at 170. Now, here, I want this center right here. I want this to be the center of my, because I want to carve both that star and the circle out. I want that to be just exactly that star and that circle. I want the star here and the circle here. Okay? I want it right there. And remember what I said? Remember what I said that, if I find my calipers, remember I said that the width of that was 67.2 millimeters. The width right in between here, these lines. Because I want that star right down here, and I want that circle right there, and I want it to be exactly 67.2 millimeters. So, now, since it is not a square, but I want to keep that relationship, okay? I want to keep this exact picture. I just want to make it the correct size. Okay? Now, I click on the lock, which will lock this proportions. Okay? Now watch this. Here I put in 67.2 space. And then I hit enter. Boom. Now, those will fit exactly. They will be perfectly the exact size that I wanted. Okay? And look at this. It changed the height automatically. And if you were to try to figure it out manually, you would still be there with a calculator. Because this is 67.2 millimeters wide, but it's 55.4 millimeters high. So let modern technology work for you. Now I got the perfect size. Now I want my 0 point dead smack in the center. So when I put my tool down, dead smack in the center of that dot right there, that's what I'm going to get. Okay? So what do I do? What do I do? I click there. Now, I am referencing from my 0 point. Right here. I mean, this is where I want my 0 point to be. But now I got to move it. So I move it here. And I put in 0, space, enter. Boom. Then I'm going to do Y. And I put in, oops, I missed that one. 0, space, boom. Now that is wherever I put my tool down on that, wherever I put my tool down on that center, on that dot, okay? That there's going to be carved out exactly. The star is going to be here and the circle is going to be here. Okay? Now, on your preview will only show you that your 0 point is at the bottom left-hand corner of your workpiece. So this is deceiving right now. You cannot go by it. And just a little couple words here. In this drawing area, I mean in your preview area, I'm going to say a couple words about the preview area. If your preview looks like garbage, you will get garbage. Okay? If it looks like garbage, you will get garbage. If there are things missing, if there are parts of letters missing, Easel is just trying to tell you, hey, I cannot cut that. I cannot cut that thing. I can't cut that little letter with a big tool you have. So it just doesn't do it. So if there are things missing on your preview, it's because your tool is too big. Your preview, except for showing the wrong 0 point, I mean, right down here, that's not what we're going to be doing on our piece of wood. We're going to be putting our 0 point dead center in our piece of wood. So in other words, if this was my piece of wood and I put my 0 point right here, the star would be right here and the circle would be right there. Okay? Just like here. There's my 0 point. The star is down here, but you can't see it because it only shows you this 0 point here. But you see the circle. Okay? On this window, if you hold down your right mouse key, you can move this around anywhere you want. If you use your left mouse key, okay, you tilt it. Now there are times when you are going to want to zoom in. So you zoom in and you move it with your right mouse key. And then you can zoom in some more and move it with your right mouse key. And one thing you're going to notice, you see this line here? Circles are not circles. Believe it or not. Circles are made up of tiny, let me see if I can, tiny straight lines. See if I can bring it up here to show you real good. It's kind of hard. It's really hard to see, but they are straight. This is one straight line from here to here, one straight line from there to there. That's how circles are built up. They are built up of tiny little lines. So just to carve out one circle, would take probably 360 lines of code, because you need one line of code for every little line. Okay? So just so you know it, this is how Easel does that. So now you know how left mouse button, you can move it however you want. Right mouse button moves the whole thing any way you want, and your scroll will zoom in. Okay? And here you can see line, 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 line. Okay? So that's how you do that. That's how that works. Okay? And you can simulate. Okay? I hit simulate. It creates G-code first. Then down here, this is like a cassette player. This is play. Okay? Now, I'm going to move this over and look at that. There you see your star. But since it only will show you from that corner, well, then when you put your 0 point dead center on your round piece of wood, your star is going to come out there and your circle is going to come out there. This is your play button right here. Just like a cassette player. Oh, sorry. Some of you people don't know what cassette players are. Oh, okay, Adam. I think I know what you mean, and I ain't got there yet. How to manipulate, has anyone ever tried to use a pen or tablet for moving and creating an easel? I mean, if you have a touch screen, you can do stuff. Like like on my machine, this is a touch screen. So I mean, I could grab a hold of this. I'm going to say edit, select all. Well, I can't move it though. Nope. So, but that's something you're going to have to try out. Okay. Your tool path. Pete asks, where do you want to start your tool path? You have absolutely zero control of your tool path. Your tool path is created when you hit simulate here, or when you hit carve, it's gonna produce the G code. But your tool path, that is what we call it. Is when it is created by the G code generator. Okay, then it is what we call AFM. It's all frickin' magic. You have no control of where the tool path is going to start, where it's going to end. No control whatsoever. The program knows everything that needs to be carved out, and it says, and it will tell you, just let me do my own thing, and I will carve it all out for you. Don't even have to worry about my tool paths. I have it under control. Now, here, I remember I told you here, this is your play button. This is how fast you want to see it. If you have it on 1, that is real time. So if this takes 1 hour and 52 minutes, it will take 1 hour and 52 minutes. If you like to watch paint dry or watch grass grow, then you can leave it on 1. I usually go 2 times the speed, 3 times, or 4 times, or 8 times. 16 or 32 is the highest you can go. Okay? I usually like to leave it at 8 because you get a pretty good idea of, you can watch it work. This here, rewind. This one, fast forward. See? There it is, fast forward. Now, look at, I can pull the slider and I can see exactly what is going to happen. Look at that. By pulling my slider. Now, I'm going to bring it back to the beginning, okay? And I'm going to go 4 times so you can see it in slow-mo. Watch. I'm going to hit play now. There's your toolpath. And it's going to cut it, and it's going to cut and cut and cut and cut till everything's all finished on that star. And then it goes over to the circle. AFM. It's all freaking magic. Now you have to understand something about these machines. An Easel and your machine. We have 3 programs to deal with. Yes, 3. You have Easel. Easel is your CAD/CAM program. Computer-aided drawing on the left side. Computer-aided machining on the right side. Okay, that's one program. Then Easel creates your G-code. That's another program. Easel creates the G-code program, and then it sends it to your machine when you go up here and you go to carve and you go through all this here. It is going to create the G-code, and it is going to send the G-code to your machine, and it's going to carve it out. But when it gets to your machine, you have another software in there. And I'm going to show you right here real quick. And people, don't mess with these numbers if you don't know what you're doing. You go to machine. You go to advanced. Go to machine inspector. Here, you'll see your work position and your machine. There's 2 positions on your machine. Your machine position, if you have limit switches. If you do not have limit switches, forget these numbers, because they will, whenever you turn your machine on, these will be 0 wherever your machine is at. Okay? Your work position, when you set your 0 point and you hit carve and it sets everything to 0, that is your work position 0. These will turn to 0 then. Okay. Now these numbers here, these numbers here, $10 or 0, $1 equals, all these numbers equal something. These numbers here are what set up the hardware on your machine. In other words, on my machine, and every machine is different because of different lead screws, different controller boards, and so on, different stepper motors. Like, for example, $100 equals how many pulses my stepper motor has to have to be able to move that axis, the x-axis, 1 millimeter. Now, if you mess with these numbers, your machine is going to be off, and it will screw up your whole life. Do not mess with these numbers unless, let me find it. I gotta find it here, just a second. Just 1 second. One second. I have it here. I just gotta find it. Oh, where can my GRBL settings, where can they be? Well, I guess somebody must have ate them or something. But it's about that thick book or printouts, about 30 some pages of explanations of what these numbers do. Just for an example, $2 and $3, if you have an axis that's going the wrong way, I can change it and make it go the right way by using the correct number. So these are called GRBL settings. Now, people that use laser GRBL program to run on their 3018 to run a laser unit, they use, instead of Easel, they use laser GRBL. And when I hear somebody say to me, or in a post, I am running, instead of saying laser GRBL, they think that they're going to be cool and shorten it. And they say, I am running GRBL and I can't get it to burn. Well, my answer to them is, well, I'm sure it won't burn because you're saying that you're running GRBL settings. How the hell are you going to run GRBL settings? These are settings that are burned into your machine. These are your setup, hardware setup numbers. You can't run them. So don't come and tell me you are running GRBL. You are running laser GRBL. That's what I'm talking about using correct terminology. Now, I'm not even going to go in here. I'm not even going to go into how to change them. And I don't, if you ever have a problem, get a hold of me and I will do it with you. Okay? So, I'm just going to look here. Ryan, how you doing, buddy? And Ed, glad you can make it, man. And Cindy. How's it going, Cindy? Okay. Now, another thing. Back to your, Dan. Back to your question about using a pen or a tablet for creating an easel. One thing I'm going to show you. That's very, very cool. If there are things. Okay, I'm going to show you what. Watch. Let's say I want to make a flag, okay? And I want it to go, let's say, from here and in a little bit. Okay, now watch this. I say edit, and I say copy, and then I say go, and I say paste. It just pasted it. Now, instead of me going in here and trying to move it perfectly to the right, because I don't want it touching there as it is, guess what? I use my keyboard arrows. Watch. I can move it perfectly in one direction or perfectly in another direction or another. Huh? Perfectly straight. So now I can adjust them. Now, watch this. What I do now is I highlight both of these and I say edit, copy, edit, paste. Boom. Guess what? Now I got 4. I'm going to move them a little bit away from each other. So they are. And I just found out that I screwed them all up. Because I moved that one and I never moved it back to the correct position. So now, and this is something that you have to do. The more you do it, the more you will learn. Copy. Okay, paste. Now I just move it horizontally over. 1, 2, 3. 2. I moved it 2 spaces. Now I go to edit and I copy 2 of them. Copy, and I'm going to paste 2 of them. And then I go 1, 2. Okay? Now, look how nice those look. Now watch this. I go to edit, and I say copy. I go edit, and I say paste. Voila. Huh? Now, I ain't finished yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. Here we go. Watch this. Edit and paste. Okay? Now, I use my arrow keys. And I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, now. I thought that wait a minute. I thought I highlighted all of these, and I said, edit, copy, edit, and paste. Okay, now I can move these, if I want to move these here, and I can align them. I can align them perfectly by using, okay, and it looked pretty good there. Maybe a little bit off, like just a hair. There. Okay, now I do this. Edit, copy, edit, paste, and it will paste them all over here, and I bring them down. There. That's how you make that's how you manipulate things, by copying and pasting. Okay? Very, very cool. And use your arrow keys to line things up. Okay? Let me say here. And if you make, let's say, oh, wait a minute. If you make, I'm going to take away these. Okay? Now watch this. I take these, okay? And I go here, rotate 90, enter. Now my stars were a little bit off since I rotated the whole thing. They're right this way, but not right this way. But if I wanted to copy, watch this. Edit, copy, edit, paste, okay? And then I can move it twice, twice. Then I can just say edit, paste, once, twice I moved it. Okay. Edit, paste, 1, 2 movements. Edit, paste, and I can do this all day long. But you see, every time I paste it, I went 2, but it should have been 2, then 3, and then 4, or something, because you see how they're getting closer and closer. That's because I tilted them 90 degrees. So now I just say all this, and I hit delete, boom. Now, I'm going to bring up a star. Okay, now this is what Adam was talking about. And this is what I'm going to talk about now. I got so much dust and garbage on my mouse pad that I keep feeling that it's... There we go. All right. There we go. Much better. Highlight my star. Now, I go to cut. Okay, now, remember here, also, angle. I can let's say I want to rotate this 45 degrees. In other words, I want to move this basically like this, but exactly 45 degrees. If you do it by hand, you'd never know what your angle. Well, you can read it actually. You can read it off as you move it. So if I go 40, but instead of trying to zero in on it, it's really, really difficult to zero right in on it. It's better to just write it here. 45. Boom. Now, it is exactly at 45. Okay? And I go to edit, and I undo that. Undo rotate. And I do undo rotate again. And I go undo rotate again. There, I'm back to my normal. Now, so we talked about your positioning, how to manipulate where you want your 0 point, or where you want to read what reference you want to use to your 0 point, okay? Okay, so right now we are referencing from the center. So in other words, right now, with the center dot highlighted, I'm saying I want to know the numbers from this point to my 0 point in X and Y. Those are your numbers right there. I have this reference. I'm referencing my 0 position in my drawing. Okay, I want to put it dead center. I want my 0 point dead center in the middle. Okay, boom. I change X to 0, and I change Y to 0, space, boom. I have just put my 0 point in the center of my star. Now, what Adam was talking about, I think. I'm going to show you some cool stuff here. This here, edit points. I'm just going to change it a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. I'm not going to clear out a pocket, cut on shape path. There. And I'm going to make it a little bit big. Well, I don't need to make it any bigger. Okay, then you got this little thing down here. Oh, before I go any further, let me find the papers with my drawing. Here. Okay. Let's just, okay, I'm just going to show it, just so I don't confuse you people. I am going to delete that, and I'm going to get a square. Okay, I'm going to bring that square up, and I am going to say, this is clear out pocket, as everybody knows. And here's how you set your depth. The lighter is shallower. You pull this all the way down, you are going to cut it out. And I'll show you. If you pull that down and your material size is 100% correct, it will cut it out. But why in the heck would you want to cut away all this wood here to cut it out? You never want to do that. Never, 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 never. If you wanted to cut this out, you would say, cut outside shape path, and you would get this. Okay? And then it would cut it out. All right. We highlight it again. Now, I'm not going to go that. I'm not getting into this yet. I'm not talking about any of this yet. Okay? We're just talking just about the drawing area. Because this is all I'm going to concentrate on tonight. Tomorrow night, I am going to pull it all together. Okay? Now, let's say on that square right here, when it's highlighted, down here where it says clear out pocket, usually, you hit that arrow down. And it says, here's your clear out pocket right there. And as you see, it's white because I have it set to 0. As soon as I start pulling this down, you can see it starts creating a pocket, okay? So I have it at 4 millimeters deep right now, which I'm not. This is just so that you can see it well. So now I am going to change from clear out pocket to cut outside shape path. In other words, when my tool is going to cut this out, okay, I said cut outside my shape path. In other words, this here. Okay? This is our square. This is our square here. All right? Now, this is your tool. And how does G-code know how far to offset your tool? Because that's magic. This machine, your CNC machine, the only thing it knows is the exact center of the tool, where that exact center of the tool is. It has no clue how big that tool is until you put the exact size of your tool right there. And as soon as you put the exact size of your tool, then your program knows how big your tool is. So if this is a 1/8 inch tool from here to here, that means that the program has to offset that tool 1/16 of an inch all the way around to cut out a perfect square. Now, if you say on here, if you select cut on shape path. Cut on shape path. Okay. There we go. Now, the center of your tool will be going right dead on the center of that line. But guess what? It is going to be cutting away. This is a 1/8 inch tool, so it's going to be cutting away 1/16 of an inch on this side. And it's going to also cut away 1/16 of an inch on the other side. And it's going to cut away 1/16 of an inch up here, and it's going to cut away 1/16 inch up here. In other words, your square is going to be 1/8 inch smaller when you add 1/16 and 1/16, and that's 1/8 of an inch smaller that way, and you add 1/16 here and 1/16 here, that's going to be 1/8 of an inch total smaller. You have to understand that by selecting where the tool is going to cut, your project is going to be either smaller or the exact size by cutting outside the shape path. Now, if you cut on the inside of the shape path, okay? Now, you have an 1/8 inch tool. So now you are cutting away 1/8 of an inch of the material here, and you're cutting away 1/8 of an inch of material on the other side, okay? So your square is going to be a quarter of an inch smaller. This is outside shape path, on shape path, inside shape path, okay? There are certain times where you want to do this. There are certain times where you want to do this. And there's certain times where you just want to do that. This is very good on letters, for lettering. If you are using the engraving tool, then you want to go on shape path. If you are cutting out a pocket, okay? Obviously, if you want to do an inlay. And first, you want to clear out the pocket, the square pocket, okay? You want to clear that out. You use clear out pocket. But then, after you take away your pocket, you take it away, then you use the same square for your inlay. And you say, cut outside shape path, so it keeps the exact size. Then that square will drop right down into that pocket. Okay? That is Tool Paths 101. Okay? So, your tool paths are right here. Clear out pocket. Then the whole thing is dark. And let me see if I can zoom in. Let me see here if it will show it up. If it'll show up. Okay, yeah, I can zoom in a little bit more and it should show up. Okay, you see how that blue line? That is your shape. That is your shape path. Right now, I have cut on shape path. So my tool, the center of my tool, is going to ride right along that line. Now watch this. If I go to cut outside shape path. Whoa, look at that. Now my shape path is here and my tool is going all the way around. And you can see here, look at that, how that tool makes a nice turn and it gives you an exact square corner. Now, cut inside shape path. Okay? You see here, it shows that the tool is going to come in here and it's going to go over there. But guess what? You are not going to get a square corner like that. Because you cannot get a square corner with a round tool. Then we have other problems we have to deal with. And I'm trying to find it. I am trying to find my drawing about that. 1 second. That was that. Okay. I can draw it up in 2 seconds. Just 1 second here. Okay, here we go. There we go. Let's just say you are using a 2-tool cut. And this is just showing one tool. This is your roughing tool. This is exaggerated, but I want to show you why. Now, think of this tool. When it gets to the corner, it's going to leave a radius. Because this edge of the tool is going to go along this edge. When this edge hits here, it's going to go that way. And it's going to leave a radius right there. Well, the only way to get rid of that radius later on is to clean it up with a tiny finishing tool. So a little tiny finishing tool comes up and it goes right into the corner and over. There'll still be a radius there, but it won't be as bad. it will be tiny, tiny. It will be insignificant. And the smaller the tool you use, the more insignificant it will be. So that's how you make square corners with round tools, by going with smaller tools. Okay? So now I talked about paths, how the paths work, all this. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about something else that's pretty cool here. And that is edit points. Okay, I'm going to move this over here a little bit like this. Now, watch what happens when I hit edit points. Okay? You see now I have 4 dots. 4 white dots here. And down here, I look down here where it says edit point, stop editing. If I click on that, it will stop editing. Edit points, I go back there. Okay? Now, I have not selected any of these corners yet. So down here, both of these are blue. They're just waiting. They have no clue what's going to happen yet. Now, I click on this corner right here. Boom, and I highlight it. So right now, look at what happened down here. The straight corner lit up. It's telling me, hey, this is a straight corner. Now, this straight corner, I can grab this and I can move it straight. And it will move anywhere I want. Okay? Now, if I go back to edit, undo edit points. Okay? Now, watch this. Watch this. I have this corner highlighted. Now, I go over here and I click on curved. Boom. First of all, this center point here, watch as soon as I, oh, you see as soon as that red line right there? You see that red line that come up right there? That means I am in line with that corner right there. If I come up over here and I come up over here, you see right there? Now I'm in line with this one over here. Okay? So this is just alignment tools, those red lines, okay? If you wanted that part to be right there aligned with that, it is right now. Now, this is the cool part about curved. This ball here, this here, I can move this wherever I want, okay? If I want to move it right, let's say right down there, like that, okay? Now, this handle here will only control from here to here. So watch this. I grab this, and I can stretch this one out if I want. And you see there how it lines up and tells me, oh, you're lined up right there. My reference point, okay? So for example, I can do this like that. And then I can grab this handle, okay? And I can do the same thing if I want. I can move that one however I want it. There I'm lined up now with that side there. And then I can grab this handle here and I can screw it all up. Okay? Now if I hit straight on that, it will make it all straight. And I get curved and I threw away everything. Okay? So this is how you manipulate edit points, and you can click on whatever corner you want or wherever you want to play with, hit curved, and now I can stretch this down, for example, down here, and I can bring this one here up like that, and I can bring this one out like that. Okay? So this is how you can make really cool things. All right, now we have talked about cut and how deep you want to cut. And we're talking about shape. We've talked about shape. Now watch this, watch this. Okay, I'm done editing. Stop editing. Okay? Everything is highlighted. Remember our proverbial square, or well, rectangle or whatever. It is covering our entire drawing. Okay? And right now, look at here. Right now, I have this in the center. So I am saying that these numbers I want to be referencing from dead center this way and dead center this way. So I'm right here. So now my reference number is right here in X. That means that if I go straight down to X, I am 87.5 millimeters to the right of my 0 point is right there. And in Y, my 0 point is 88.8 millimeters. 88.8 right there in center. Now, if I wanted to put my 0 point in the center of that, what do? For example, if I wanted this right down nestled in the left-hand corner, watch, I put my reference point. I say I want to reference my corner, and I put 0, 0, and I put 0 in Y, and now it's nestled right in the corner. Wherever I put my tool down on my machine, it will carve above my tool 113 millimeters, and it will carve, because I'm seeing my numbers here, my width and my height. My height is 111.2 millimeters, 111.2 millimeters, and my width is 147.2. 147.2, boom, that's right there, okay? And now I could actually adjust my size if I want. Let's say I want it exactly 100 millimeters, and I want to keep the perspective. I want to keep it, the whole shape as it is. Okay, so first thing I do is I have to highlight this again. I have to click on this first. I have to click on the lock, which locks the proportion. And I want this to be exactly 100 millimeters. 100 millimeters. Enter. Boom. Now it is exactly 100 millimeters wide. And it adjusted it automatically to 76.9 millimeters high, because I said I wanted to keep that relationship. But now, let's say we're gonna carve this. We want to carve this dead center of my. I want that shape right in here, okay? And remember, I said the width of my shape there was 67.2. So I change my width to 67.2. Boom. Now it is the exact size to fit on my round circle. But we have the 0 point down here, and if you think of the square going around the circle, your 0 point is referencing to here. We want the center point in the center, so we can put it in the center here, and it will come out just like that here, okay? How do we do that? We go up here to position, and we hit the center button, and we just type in 0. 0. And 0. Oops. 0. There. Now, wherever I put my 0 point, Wherever I put my tool down here, that shape is going to be carved right out. It would be just exactly like me putting that 0 point right here directly over that 0 point there. Okay? Are you, oh, so is this what you were wondering about, Adam? The edit points? Okay, so I'm going to bring my object back up. Now, these are all your shapes, okay? Square. You can do a lot with them. You can do a lot. Then you have your pen, your line tool. You see how it's got a ball at the end of my mouse? Now, if I click and I can pull it to wherever I want and click. And you see it's red because I'm in perfect line. As soon as I move it away, I'm out of line. And this is what they call snap mode. You see it'll stay there, and it's kind of easy to stay online because it's snapping to that. It'll want to, almost like a magnet. Okay? So I can make whatever shape I want. Click, 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 and I go click, and then I can finish it by putting it on top of that other ball and clicking it. Now I just created this object. Okay? And I can resize it however I want right here. And right now I am referencing from the center of this drawing right here, just this one. If I highlight both of them, now I am in the center of both of these right now. So I am measuring right dead, smack dead in the center right here, okay, in relationship to my 0 point. And those are these numbers, okay? Now let's say I wanted to put this on my coaster, dead center. Well, first of all, my coaster was 67.2 millimeters. So I hit the lock because I want to keep the relationship of these numbers. And if you try to figure out in your head, you'll be there until tomorrow. So I just changed this one to 67.2. Boom. Now I've just made it smaller. And then I'm done with my sizing. Okay? And I highlight all of it again. And I'm going to reference from the center. And I'm going to put this to 0. 0 point there. Space. And I'm going to put 0 point there. 0. Right now. So now, wherever I put my tool down on that piece of wood, that is going to be carved exactly within this area here. All AFM. Okay, maybe I'm jumping ahead, but if I found online clip art I like, or I have drawn my own art, old-fashioned, and have JPEG, yes, there's something very, very cool here. Very cool. Very cool. You're jumping ahead, though. Okay? I've only gotten from here, and then I am on my drawing tool right now, my line tool. That's what we just did right now. Okay, I'm going to say edit, select all, and I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to just pull it up here again. Okay? So that's my project. Now, let's say that I wanted to drill holes. So, this is your drill hole, your drill. Now, wherever I put this, it is going to drill a hole. See, I want a hole right there, and I want another hole, and it will drill a hole the size of your tool. It will just go down. Okay, it will just go down. Look what I got. I got my object with a hole there and a hole there. Now, if I want that hole, if I only wanted that hole 4 millimeters, you see this one is highlighted. It's got the square around it. So I have just set this hole here. Let me show you. And you can see this one is only 4 millimeters deep, because that's what I set it to right there. I highlighted that hole. Now this hole, watch this. I'm going to highlight this one. I'm going to highlight that one. And I want this one, I'm going to say I want it to go all the way through. Okay? Well, guess what? It went all the way through on this one. Okay? All the way through. Magic. Magic. So that's how you drill holes. Now we have these objects with holes. Now, text. There's a couple little things that you really have to be careful of with text. And let me see if this is... that wasn't the right one, because I'm going to show you a fault with text. See if this is it. Okay, I'm going to change this to Paul. Okay. Okay, this one wasn't it. But I can still explain what I mean by this. Now, look at that square. Look how much area there is up here. Okay? If I take away this and I say Shift P, okay? There isn't that much difference between the small p and a large, or the capital P. But look at this area here. This is out of proportion in conjunction with this. You see what I mean? Here you have nice spacing here and nice spacing here and nice spacing here, but here it's exaggerated. And now, if you go to shape and you say you want it in the center, you want to reference your center, okay? You are referencing exactly right across from here. That dot right there, that is your center vertically, and this is your center horizontally. And your center will be here. You see what I mean? You have all this area up here, which is not, watch, I'm going to show you. So in reality, it won't be centered. Okay? There I said, now it's perfectly centered now, horizontally. But watch what happens when I center it vertically. You see there? It is not centered. In other words, that's because of that space above the letters. This space here. That's what screws it up. So now if you wanted that dead center in the middle, what I would do there is I would use my arrow key. And I would look at my center, and I would put that center in the center of my letters. So I'd do this. I'd move it up, 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 up. And I'd kind of look at my L. That's an easy one to see when it is lined up halfway. There could be halfway there. Let's go one more. Now my name would be centered. Because I am taking in consideration it is measuring this garbage here. Okay? This is just a tip that you have to be aware of. Okay? Now other texts, okay? Watch it. If I take Baskerville, that's a pretty cool one. I like this one. When I'm doing really cool things, I like to use this text. Okay, now look at here. Okay, I can do it right here. Look at here. Now this center here, now you have as much room here as you do up here. So this text is centered in the box. It is just a text thing. That is the reason you don't get... The different text will give you different spacing up here. And this is what you will use. If you want to reference this corner for doing tiling, watch. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to reference this corner here because I want to cut this piece out. I want to cut this out on a long piece of wood, and this is going to be at the bottom. Okay? So I want to know exactly, watch this. I'm going to put this, right now I'm going to put it down to the bottom left-hand corner because I'm referencing here. And I'm going to put it, nestle it in my 0 point. Okay, 0. And Y0, bring it down a little bit. 0. Okay, now it's nestled right in the corner. Now I can reference my top corner here. I can reference my top corner right here, and I can click on this, and I know exactly that right to here, right to this point right here, for the people like Adam that does tiling. Right here, 50.8 millimeters, right there. So next time, guess what? On your next text, okay, I'm going to just take away all this here. Wait a second. Just for the heck, I'm going to take away this. Okay, so we highlighted this, and I'm going to do a tile. I'm going to have a long piece of wood, and I'm going to have Paul at the bottom, and then I'm going to have Sheba, my dog, above me. So I'm going to carve out this on that piece of wood. Then I'm going to move my piece of wood. Okay, I'm going to move my piece of wood down on my machine, and I'm going to carve Sheba. Okay, so by referencing my upper left-hand corner here, right here, I know right here this is 50.8 millimeters from my 0 point. Okay? So I can go on my piece of wood and I can measure up 50.8 millimeters and make a little mark right there. Okay? Make a little mark right there. Now next time I'm gonna carve another name. Okay? So I can just take that away, and I can go in here and I can say Sheba. I'll use Baskerville again, and I will type in Sheba. Okay? Now, I highlight this. Okay? Now, what I do there, I reference back down to here, to my 0 point. Okay? And I put this to 0. 0. And I put this to 0. Now, that's all I have to do is go on my piece of wood and find that little mark that I put at, what was it, 60 some millimeters, whatever it was. Remember I put that little mark up here, like on above Paul, right there? I put that mark. Well, guess what? That mark is now, I'm going to use that as my 0 point. Okay? So now Sheba will be exactly that, this height above Paul. You'll have the space, this space, plus the space on Paul. You'll have Paul. So this is how you do tiling to make to be able to carve a bunch of things on a long piece of wood. Okay? And I can just keep going up and up and up and putting names as much as I want. They'll all be perfect. Okay? If you use these reference points, that's all you're telling. That's all you're wanting to know is what is the reference point from here to my 0 point. Or from here to my 0 point. I'll do that. There. Now I'm referencing, these numbers are referencing from here. Okay? And if I want to put Sheba in the middle of this, okay, I go here to width and I hit the lock because I want to keep the proportions. And I put, right here, I put 67.2. Okay, and I got my lock on, so everything's going to be proportionate. There. Now, since I'm going to carve it on my round coaster, I want my center point in the center. So I go to 0 on X, and I go to 0 on Y. Now, when I put my tool down on the center there, Sheba will be written right out there. Magic. Magic. That's text. Text, text, text. Now, I'm going to show you guys something. Oh, something. Oh, I think I have to clean my mouse or something. Just a second. Let me brush it off. Maybe that will help. Oh, and for you people that do not have a set of calipers, and you will need them, you need to have calipers, you can get them at Harbor Freight for like $15, okay? Okay. I'm just going to move that out of there. This here, your smiley face icon. This stuff here is absolutely wonderful. You can do so much with this stuff. Now these here, mind you, watch this. These are individual. Okay? And if you do something and you move those, it will move. Just if you don't highlight everything, you'll miss some parts. So you have to go like this and cover everything there, okay? Now, watch this. I can take this and I can say edit, copy, edit, paste. Okay, now you have one over here. Now, watch this. I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees. Okay? So, when I take and highlight this one, I'm just going to, because what I did was I actually screwed up a little bit. I made it too big. Because I'm going to show you why. I can get my drawing area here. Highlight all of it. Okay? And I want this to be, let me see, I'm just going to make it smaller just so we can play with it. Okay. Okay. Now I go to here to edit, and I say copy, and I say paste, paste. Now, I say minus 90 degrees. Okay, now watch this. I move it up. And if I want to get it lined up exactly with this one, watch this. What am I going to do? I'm going to click, oh, duh. I'm going to click here on my bottom left-hand corner of this one. And it's telling me, okay, I want this corner exactly 20 millimeters in. And it's at 20.7 now. I put it at 20. 20. Now it is perfectly in line on 20. Watch this. I highlight this one. Also referencing to the bottom left-hand corner. And I say I want that exactly 20. There. They are exactly in line with each other right now. Now I say edit, paste. Okay? Now I say rotate. 180. Okay. Now I want this one. I want a reference from this corner here, and I want my total width. I want it to be at exactly 130. So I'm going to reference this corner. So I go here, and in X I say I put in exactly 130. 100 is what I wanted. I want the whole complete width to only be 100 millimeters. Okay? So I hit enter. Now, remember, I want this corner to be exactly the same height as this corner. So what do I do here? I just highlight this, and I'm going to reference up from that corner right here. And that reference corner right here now is telling me it is 110.3 millimeters. 110.3 millimeters, okay, above. So now 110.3, I'll remember that, I hope. So now I'm going to reference to this point here. Watch. And I say there. And I'm going to say in Y, I want to go 110.3. Or was that 100.3? See, oh, wait a minute. Let me just see here. That one there is 110.3. And this one is also 110.3, but it's off. That was weird. That was weird. That was weird. I wasn't expecting that to be off. 110.3 I'm referencing this top corner here, and now I'm going to be referencing this top corner, okay? And that's 110.3, referencing that top corner there. So, there's something off with the software. Okay? So this one here, I got to move down just a little hair. And right now I am dead on, right there. And if I highlight this again, highlight that one, and I want to reference from here, the bottom corner, I am exactly 100 millimeters, like I said. So now I say edit, copy, edit, paste. Okay, and now I have to rotate that. Let me see, I think it would be minus 90 degrees. Yeah. And I can move this over here just close. Now I will reference this corner down here as I have right here, and I will put X 100. 100. Let's see if it lines up. Now you see it didn't. It's because one way well, actually it is perfectly lined up actually. Now height-wise, I got to get that right. And I can't remember what this height of this one was. Let's see. Let's see what that is. I want to reference this point here now. So I'm going to reference that, and I'm going to see that my height is 13 millimeters. 13 millimeters above my 0 point, okay? So now I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to say I want to reference my bottom left-hand corner, and on Y I want to put 13 millimeters. 13. And that one was a little bit off because it has something to do when it's going one way and when it's going the other way. So this one I'm just going to have to eyeball it and just move it up a little bit. That looks pretty darn good. And then you can just go ahead and you can grab a smiley face and put them in here, and you can stretch them out a little bit, and there you go. Boom. Okay? Now, you got a project. Now let's say, watch this. I'm going to highlight the whole shebang because I want to put that on my coaster. Remember my coaster? The size was. Now watch this. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to put the bottom left-hand corner because I'm going to nestle it down now right down in the here. Okay? And I put 0. 0. And I'm going to put 0. Okay, now I am nestled right in the corner. All right? And I can see that the whole shebang, the size is I have to use the biggest number, which is the height now. So I'm going to change my height to 67.3. 67. Oh, ooh, I almost screwed up. I'll click out of that. Okay? And I go over here. Oops. And I highlight all of it. Then I forgot to hit my lock. If I didn't hit my lock, I would have screwed it all up. Now I put in my height 67.3. Boom. But still, I want my 0 point in the center. So now I'm going to reference from the center of my, right here, from the center. And I'm going to put my 0 point there by changing X to 0. And then Y to 0. There you go. How cool is that? So, now, I'm going to say File, New. I'll just save that one. And you can save as many projects as you want in Easel. Now I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to take a couple shapes, okay? I'm going to take a square, and I'm going to make that a little bit bigger, like this. Okay, and I'm going to change it for viewing. I'm going to change it to cut outside shape path. Then I'm going to grab a circle, and I am going to grab a star, and I'm going to grab a triangle. Okay, here's a triangle. There's my stars. Okay? Now, whenever you have more than one object, watch what happens. For example, I'm just gonna take away, just because this way I can show you a little bit easier. Okay, right there. Now watch. When I highlight everything, okay? I highlight everything. This pops up. What is this? This is a very, very cool aligning tool. The first three are showing you they are aligning things horizontally. So this bottom piece is your main frame. So you can look at it like that. That is your main frame right underneath. So look at this. Your object is your dark thing. And here it's lining it up to the left-hand side. Guess what? Right there. I clicked on it. I just aligned it to the left-hand side. Now to get this. Right here. Align to the center. Horizontally. Or align to the right. Horizontally. Now, the next three are vertically. Align to the bottom. Align to the middle. And align to the top. So what would I do if I wanted this triangle dead center in the middle? Guess what? I would go align to the center horizontally and align to the center vertically. Boom. AFM. AFM. No, it isn't true, Adam. That image was not. It wasn't true. Proportionally left and right. That's why I could have done like you said there, image. I could have mirrored it. Yes. You're completely right, Adam. Okay. Now, that's the one we're going to get into. Dan's question. Dan's question. Okay. Can I bring in a picture? Okay. Watch this. I am going to take away this. And I'm going to delete it. I'm going to go in down here. And I'm going to say image trace. Upload an image to begin. Okay. Upload file. Okay. I'm waiting for my... I'm trying to find where did I get into my... Oh, okay, here we are. There we go. Now, I had to click on files to upload. Okay. Let me see here. Here, this one. I've actually done this one. Okay? Now, this is a very good... Okay, upload. Boom. Now, I fly these 2-line competition kites, okay? And I was out flying it one day, and there was a flock of birds coming, okay? And this flock of birds, Buffy got a picture of the kite and the birds. So now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play with this so I can get the whole kite. Now you see there, when you're a little bit too fast, get rid of all the noise right there. Smoothing. Go from one extreme to the other and see what happens. And then try to find the center. Okay, I'm going to go. Now I got to go up a little bit more on this because I want to get the entire kite. I'm trying to just get it right at the edge where I get rid of the garbage. That's the best I can do. Okay? And I'm actually trying to find the carving that I actually did. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I got it here. Hold on. Hold your horses. Hold on, I'm still with you. I'm just trying to find that particular, if I have it somewhere. Okay, I can't find it. But I have done that carving before, that exact one. And it come out just like this, watch. Okay? So, watch this. Trace outlines. Okay? So now it'll just carve out. Now if I do this, it will carve out more of a pocket. Okay? Now watch this. I'll say import. So there we have it. We have the kite and we have the birds. Now I'm going to show you something cool. I'm going to move it over here a little bit. Now I think it would look cooler if I move this bird here. Okay, and then I did this. Edit, copy, edit, paste, and then I take this bird and I put him over here, and then I say edit, paste. I can grab this bird and I can put it down here, and I can really pull people's legs thinking that, boy, she got all those birds and I can even move my kite if I want. Just like they're following it right there. Huh? Now, I look at my... I've done all that. And guess what? That's all I'm getting. And that's because it's an 1/8 of an inch tool. Now watch as soon as I change this and I change it to... I'm going to use my engraving tool. So I'm going to use 0.1. That little tiny tool that comes with a rubber cap. That has to be 0.1 millimeters. Okay? And oops, not 1, 3, I want just 1. Okay? And I hit enter. Boom. And I close that window. Look at this. Huh? There you go. There you go. And I can say the depth. I don't want that at 8 freaking millimeters. No. I want my birds. I want all of my birds to be at 1 millimeter, or say 2 millimeters. I'm going to do 2 because it makes it easier to see. And then I'm going to do my kite at 3 millimeters, just to give it a little bit of difference. There. So I have just highlighted different objects and set them at different depths. That is how you import pictures. Now, tomorrow night, I have gone 2.5 hours now and I can feel it on my throat. Okay. Tonight I am going to do something and I would like you people to react. I'm going to kind of stick it to the people in the group. And I'm going to make a post. I'm going to say, what have all the people missed that didn't follow tonight? And what I want you people to do is I want you to put comments in there. Say, boy, you people that have just gotten your 3018, guess what? You have missed the boat. I mean, tell them what you think. Because 920 people in the group, 925 in the group, and there are 14 people here. Are you going to tell me that there is 908 people, 908 people that know this, all of it? Nope. Okay, so do me that favor. As soon as I hang up here, I'm going to make that post. What have you missed tonight? And I want you people to tell them, okay? And if you think I sucked at it, say it. Say I sat here and Paul sucked at what he was doing and it wasted my time. If that's how you feel. But I could go on and on and on with this here. We're not finished yet. We're going to take up tomorrow. We are going to continue tomorrow on Easel. I'm not finished even in the drawing area. I haven't even touched on file, edit, machine, toolbox, help, all the rest. And not to mention the settings, the carving settings. Tomorrow, it's all going to go together like that. And you will be a confident CNC operator when I'm done with you. If you follow my instructions. And not do like some people. I have to make a very, very strong point right here. In Inventables, There are so many, many, many wonderful projects, but you have to be aware of one thing. Every one of those projects is designed around and to be carved out by a X-carve machine, not a 3018. Okay? So, when Inventables posts projects, all of these settings are for X-carve machine, which has a router motor. They are a beast, and they are big. So, if you are going to import any of Easle's projects into your Easel, and you want to carve them out, you damn sure better change every frickin' number. As far as cut settings, as far as feed rate, everything. Set it to the numbers that I have given you. Okay? And I'll give you those numbers tomorrow. Okay? You cannot use Inventables numbers. It will tear apart your machine in a heartbeat. Okay? Because those numbers are 4 times higher than the numbers you are going to be running with your 3018. Okay? Just keep that in mind whenever you import any kind of job like that from Inventables or any other place. My God, do not accept the numbers they are giving you. You have a special machine, you have to run special numbers. Okay? So, now that I blew up on you, I mean, sometimes I gotta pound this stuff in people's heads because, and then tomorrow I'll see people asking the same question. They'll be asking, well, how do I get my 0 point in the center of my object? I'm gonna tell you one thing, you people damn well better know it now, and you people can help them. Okay? That's why I am teaching you people. I am teaching you people to be instructors. Yes. You thought I was just helping you to learn to use your machine? Nope. I have a alternative investment. Okay? I have an alternative investment in you people. You are my future teachers. Okay? So that's why I really enjoy getting into the nitty-gritties of this stuff, so that you really learn it. Okay? And once you learn it, man, you'll be on top of the world. You'll be turning out stuff like, I know what tool to use, I know what speed I'm going to use, and then I'm going to use my feed rate, and I'm going to make that thing hum like a jewel. Okay? You'll see. I'm not done. Tomorrow night will be a continuation. So you people join me here, same time, same station, same channel, and we will keep the ball rolling. And like I said, you people will be top-notch operators, and you'll be able to answer people's questions. Ha ha ha. In other words, taking the load off of me, All right. Thank you very much again, and again for all of your participation. And guess what? Nobody has left here tonight. A lot of times people will skip out on me halfway through. Nobody has left tonight. I've had 13 people the whole evening. Okay? Thank you very much. See you mañana. Adios. And okay, but Jim, I'm going to be making a post. I want you to put that in your post, okay? In the post that I make. You guys have a great evening. And I hope I didn't scare yous. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.